Israel, Palestinians, and President Obama at the UN.
Peace will not come through statements and resolutions at the United Nations. If it were that easy, it would have been accomplished by now.
Standing your ground, taking this position of principle, this is a badge of honor. And I want to thank you for wearing that badge of honor.
The president told the United Nations that the United States opposes Palestinian efforts to win recognition of statehood absent direct negotiations with Israel. And for this, Prime Minister Netanyahu, as you can see, congratulated the president as a matter of principle. But I just can't get that special New York election out of my mind, Nina, and I'm wondering if it was principle or politics.
I don't think any American president can fail to veto a resolution like this. I just think that's the nature of our politics. I don't think that's, you know, if I were God, would that be the way it is? Probably not. And I think that Abbas has done something very shrewd here. He's just bypassed us. And he's managed to make himself a big figure and a big player. He's ticked off not only us, but Hamas. And I think in the future, the United States can't be the kind of player that it has been traditionally in the past, because we don't have that kind of leverage to make things happen in Israel anymore.
But I think it's also true that Obama and the White House are looking at some bad numbers in Florida and New York, and really bad numbers, and there is a big element of politics in this.
Okay. There is no element of politics in this. There's no president at no time in any cycle who would have supported Palestinian statehood, and the reason is this. For 18 years, the American policy in the Middle East, since Oslo, premised on the principle of land in return for peace. And what the Palestinians are doing in going unilaterally to get land, sovereignty, their state, without giving peace, is the whole object of this exercise. So it undermines the entire idea, starting with Sadat in 1979, of land in return for peace. And unless the United States makes a statement that if you want to have a state, you want to have sovereignty, you want to have independence and dignity, you have to make peace with the Israelis, accept an Israeli state, and end the conflict. Unless America establishes and sticks with that principle, the entire peace process is torn up. And that's why any president would always have to exercise a veto over this.
No politics. Charles.
A lot of politics. The Arab Spring has completely changed the calculus in the Middle East. First of all, the most reliable defender, protector of Israel in the entire Arab world, the Mubarak regime in Egypt, is gone. The status quo is totally over. The United States sees itself reduced to a role far less relevant as a consequence of both the Iraqi war and our uncritical support of Israel. Israel is increasingly isolated, whether it's Egypt, Turkey, and the two-state solution becomes so imperative. I mean, otherwise you're going to leave yourself, if you care about Israel, to a one-state solution, and that one state is not going to be a pretty place to be. And the reality of just unlimited settlements, unchecked settlements, encouraged settlements by the Netanyahu administration has led to where we are today.
But if that is so,
just let me finish. The first time the Palestinians have been excited, really, about their own future since the Oslo Accords, which I know Charles did not endorse.
If the reason for the stalemate is settlements and the Netanyahu government and Likud, why is it that 3 months before Netanyahu came into office in 2008, there was an article in the New York Times by Ehud Olmert who described the negotiations he had with Abbas. He offered him 100% of the West Bank. He offered a division of Jerusalem. He offered a Palestinian capital in Jerusalem, a Palestinian state and independence. And what happened? Abbas walked away. How do you explain that?
I believe that Abbas was wrong, and I think that if you read the rest of that article, Charles,
it's not wrong. Explain me why.
If you want to simply quote, quote the article, what was the former prime minister's recommendation? What was his recommendation in that piece? You just want to forget it? Do you want to leave it out? He said you have to negotiate a two-state settlement, or the consequences for Israel are dire, if not fatal.
And he did exactly that and was rejected, as happened here in Washington, Camp David, 10 years earlier. Explain to me why Abbas walked out if settlements and Bibi are the issue.
News.